I'm your boyfriend, George. Donovan Bailey is here tonight. Donovan. Boy, it's a plunging neckline, isn't it? Donovan Bailey restored faith to this country in the Summer Games when we didn't think it would happen again after the Ben Johnson scenario. But there's more to that Ben Johnson. There's just a lot to talk about with Donovan Bailey, and it involves Canada. He's very excited to have him. A man who has not one, but 2 Olympic gold medals. He actually wears them everywhere he goes. A lot of people don't know that. If you won not 1, but 2, wouldn't you wear it? The question is, where do you wear it? I keep mine on one of those stretchy things from work. Reminder, mark it down in your calendar. If you don't have a pen, cut yourself open and bleed it on your calendar, or type it into your phone if that's how you go. Next Friday, March the 7th, Paralympic Games in Sochi kick off. 30 hours of coverage broadcast right here on the Mother Network, as well as extensive streaming online. And again, Canada makes the gold medal game in sledge hockey, and we really hope they do. If they do, wherever you are in this country, if you own a bar, open it up. Open it up. Not that I'm encouraging people to get smashed at 8 a.m., but I'm not encouraging it either. If the bars don't open, you can come party at my house, okay? It'll be exciting. Oh, yeah. Listen, before you clap, I'm a vegan and I don't drink alcohol or do drugs. It's not that exciting, all right? By the way, in Vancouver, the Senators of Ottawa will be traveling to Columbia on Sunday. Not the regular Columbia, but the British part of Columbia, which is just west of Alberta. That's right, it's the Canucks and the Sens in an outdoor game at BC Place. And it's a classic matchup of 8th in the West against 11th in the East, where we can find out ultimately which team will pack it in before the trade deadline. As of right now, the forecast calls for nice hockey weather, hovering around 0, maybe a little bit of snow. Of course, if the temperature rises a bit, maybe get a little bit of rain. If that's the case, not a problem. BC Place could actually be an outdoor stadium with an inflatable roof, so everybody just grab a tube and just... The truth is, that's actually a photo from a kegger in British Columbia. Huffing and puffing. Shall we deal with the day? Right off the bat here, I'd like to talk about the controversial law in Arizona. You know, the one that would allow businesses to deny services to gay and lesbian customers based on religious reasons. Dead! It's dead! Dead! And dare I say, unlike Jesus, this one might not come back in 3 days. And we all know that actually happened. Governor Jan Brewer vetoed it, although I should say that there are several other states like Georgia, Missouri, and a handful of others where similar laws are being battered about, so we will keep our eyes open for that story. Now, journalists, of course, and social media played an incredibly important role in publicizing the lunacy of that bill. Lunacy. Incredibly important. All the time. They keep us informed. Push back against censorship. Speaking of censorship, I looked up censorship on Wikipedia earlier. True story, this is what we got. This actually popped up. I want to believe it was a smartass who did that. It was up for a while, now it's gone, but fairly apropos. I actually wish more Wikipedia pages were like that so it could save me from the rabbit hole at 3 in the morning, where I just click on the third thing that's blue. The third thing that's blue, and I end up in a really weird place. But I bring this up because today was an international day of action to support several Al Jazeera journalists imprisoned in Egypt for months without trial. Peter Gresta, Mohamed Fahmy, Bahir Mohamed, Abdullah Al-Shami. And you know what they're in prison for? The heinous crime of doing their job. You can always check out some of what's going on under the hashtag FREEAJSTAFF. One way people have been putting the face to this one is like this. So I posted a picture on my Instagram page, very somber. You can follow me on Instagram, at Strombo if you want, but I'm not the only one. Many people have. Look at this, the man who puts the man in Mansbridge, Peter Mansbridge, also playing a part. His smile, though, is way more chill than mine. It's a very serious day, and I know the day is almost over. The cause is not, so let's keep this up, okay, until they are freed. And another reason why journalism is so important is because without it, the politicians would say whatever they want. And when anybody's in a position of public influence, you can be damn sure they're going to use it, but you cannot be sure if they will use it for good. But when politicians and business people, especially the ones that get tax credits, when they willfully mislead the public and try to get away with it, the Toronto Star didn't back down. And that's why we know what we know. Making that a known known as opposed to an unknown known. which of course is also not the same as an unknown. I sound like Donald Rumsfeld. Anyway, the point is you got to be vigilant. For example, on the most recent edition of the Ford Nation YouTube show, His Worship said this.
Well, folks, I am not an international celebrity. I'm an average, hardworking guy that goes to work every day, comes home to their family, takes my kids out, supports my wife and family, and does whatever I can. I am not a celebrity.
You know why people think you're a rock star? Mr. Ford, do you know why people think you're a rock star despite what you say? Here's one reason why someone would come up with such brazen assertion.
They've had rock stars, they've had sports stars, they had Bieber, and nothing compared to when the mayor came out there.
When he walks in there, he's a rock star.
If Doug is ever able to track down his brother so they can get their story straight, we might be in for some real trouble. Obviously, the Toronto Star's work on the Ford case is important. Few stories, though, have the massive impact that the Edward Snowden stories had. It speaks so much to privacy rights, surveillance, the rise of the security state, the erosion of civil society. You can't understate the significance of what Snowden did. Here's what the great Dr. Cornel West said about him on our red chair.
When they see that.
Is Snowden an example of courage in action?
Oh, my God, yes. He's the John Brown of our time. This brother, he can't even step foot in this country. And all he did was just expose lies and crimes. He was, oh, but no, he's calling into question the security of the United States. Show us the evidence. White House, Congress, Pentagon, State Department. Not at all. He just exposed what they were trying to hide and conceal. All the secrecy that's at work in the chateau, coordinated activities.
Really, really awesome, Dr. Cornel West. So what else do we know? Thanks to Edward Snowden, will open up your cochlear nerves. Because today we're going to talk about something called program optic nerve. Over a 2-year period starting in 2008, the British surveillance agency known as the Government Communications Headquarters, or GCHQ, aided and abetted by the NSA, surprise, surprise, they intercepted and stored still images from Yahoo webcam chats. Not people who were suspects. Not necessarily that, just bulk gathering of images. So if you were out there web chatting, oh no! Did you have a long distance relationship with a fine lass in Wales? Or did you show her something? Because they probably have your image. That's right, they just took stuff. Whether or not you were a suspect. I occasionally have commit egregious fashion crimes, that is true, I have done this one, but it was Pharrell's hat, I had to take it, so I had to do it. I just do that so I make sure I don't become irony deficient. Perhaps the worst part, though, is that they stored millions of images from webcams, and apparently, according to the story, they captured tons of fleshy photos. You guys send a lot of naughty stuff on Yahoo. I'm proud of you. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Of course, the GCHQ informed Yahoo about this, right? No, they didn't. So Yahoo was apparently furious. They didn't know that this was happening. They probably could have found out sooner, but they were reluctant to Google it. That's your debrief.